You're listening to Grassroots Communities, What Really Matters. Today, we're talking to Emma from the Grassroots Activators Programme, GAP for short, about what really matters to her. Hello, Emma. Oh,
hello.
Not close enough. Again, we're going to learn this very quickly. Thanks for coming in.
No worries.
Sounds like you had a lovely night out last night with
very
the rest
heavy
of the
one.
GAP crew. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, very tired and not feeling my best.
You're here. You'll be great. You'll be great. So, Bridget, I'm just going to ask you a few questions and things about what really matters to you.
Yeah.
And as I said before, just whatever the answer is, the answer is. First of all, can you remember when we first met and where that was or how that was? And I don't think we didn't meet in person, was it, to start with?
To start with, the first time I met you was the first day of the course.
Yeah.
And we were all heading to, was it the Wave?
The Wave, yeah.
Yeah, we were all heading to the Wave, and I spotted you and Judith outside of the station, sort of like carry loads of like bags, like shoving them into a minibus. And I was like, I'm guessing that. I was like, I'm guessing that's Ben and Judith, like the one that's running the course. So yeah, I just went over to you, and you're like, oh Emma, hello, we're like getting the minibus. I'm like, okay. So that's the first time meeting you.
It's the first time we met, but I remember we spoke, didn't we, before on the phone?
Yeah, we had a really long conversation on the phone.
I'm thinking about it when we spoke on the phone. So I spoke to quite a lot of different people about GAP. And when I spoke to you, it was pretty obvious that you were keen on doing something.
Yeah. I was so bored of my life, like just working day in, day out, doing 2 jobs day in, day out. And I just thought I need to do something with my life. If I get qualifications out of this or not, if I get help towards a job I want or not, like this gives me something to do, and it is beneficial. It gets me out of the house. It helps me with like mental health and stuff. I've met so many nice people in this course, like lots of them, like say, along my friends.
Most of them last night.
Exactly. It's like me and Brandon were sat down yesterday in the park centre when we were doing the stuff for affirmations, and he was like, You're pretty much just like my sister now. Like, I don't see you as like a girl or just a girl I like or someone who's pretty. Like, I see you as like my sister because we are so close and we are so alike. And I was like, oh, I never thought like I'd hear anyone from like GAP say that. And I was like, it just shows like how close we all have been brought together in the past 3 months.
Yeah, it's only 2. You think that's like we're halfway through the second term. There's 6 terms.
I know.
We're going to be like by the end of it.
Killing each other, probably.
Yeah, maybe. That's what friends do.
Exactly.
And family.
And family, yeah.
As we know. So I think most people that are doing GAP, for whatever reasons, lots of different reasons, all wanted something to change in their life.
Yeah, I feel like lots of us realise when all of our friends, just got that place in uni or just got that college course, and we're all just sat there like, we're not doing anything with our lives. So I feel like GAP came along at like a really good time.
No. Well, I'm glad you feel like that. And it's funny, interesting you hear you explaining it like that, because that is exactly how I felt when I was your age, people that were going off and doing different things, and then I basically was left doing nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
And I was like, I'm never going to end up doing that, and exams and all the rest of it.
It's like so many of us on the course site, I want to do something towards mental health or social care. Then you have Brandon, he wants to be like a business entrepreneur. Then you have Rakane, he wants to be like a sports physiotherapist. There's like so many different careers and personalities in GAP. Like we do all bounce off each other. We all do have really good ideas because we do all want to do all sort of different things. And that's why I think GAP again is really good, because we are all so different. All of us come from such different backgrounds and
different parts of the city.
Cultures. Like we all want to get to certain different places in our life, and that is why I like GAP, because we are all so different and we all do like bounce off each other. And I think it's so cool just having like so many different people just sat in one room and chatting about random crap.
Random crap. It's right. Look, what normally happens is, and it changes every time, we end up just going off on a tangent and chatting about whatever. That's great hearing all that, because to be honest with you, you've just come out with a lot of the kind of things that I'd hope to try and get from you. And we'll touch on Gap a bit later on, but I want to take you back a little bit, just to kind of set a scene for people to, just, like I said, you know, you're going to be talking about things that matter to you. But what was it like for you growing up? Like positives and, you know, potential like challenges.
So like in the area or just in general?
Just in general and in the area, you know, like all together,
Yeah, growing up it was like a bit weird because I lived in St Anne's with my mum and dad, and then they like really suddenly got divorced. It was like very like weird and like scary. Like my last memory of me and my mum at my dad's house is quickly chucking everything into suitcases and going in shared accommodation for 2 weeks. And as soon as come out, it was infidelities in the relationship, so it was nothing like mad, but yeah, that was like really weird. And then we managed to get a rented house in St Anne's, so we managed to stay in the area for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, my mum blew all the money, and we had to come to Knoll because that was the only place that had housing available. And then it was such a culture shock when I came to Knoll.
So for people, you're now living in Knoll West.
Yes, I live in Knoll West by Ilminster Avenue School. Yeah. So I pretty much grew up on Newquay Road from the age of 10. And then, but when I came from St Anne's to Knoll, it was...
What was it? Explain a bit about that shock. I mean, you know I worked a lot around here and all that.
Oh my God.
Like, but what was that shock like for a 10-year-old coming from one community?
Well, it's like, I grew up like in the nice part of St Anne's, like all like Victorian houses and lots of parks and, you know, nice big happy families. And then I come to Knoll and there's like people passed out in the front of the shop. You see needles everywhere. You see kids running around the street with just a nappy on, no shoes, no nothing. Like in the middle of like October. And it's like, I was taken aback. I was asking my mum like, what are they doing? And they were like, that's just how they live. That's like different people live different lives. And then I looked weird coming into Knoll because I had bright red hair, I was all this eyeliner. I was quite a gothic kid. Yeah, earlier off camera. Like I was quite a gothic kid. So then I came to Knoll.
Roll in Knoll?
Not very well. So not very well.
Imagine.
Yeah, it's like I rock up to Newquay Park. This is like before it got like refurbished, so like it dingy, and I rock up with like a Stone Roses top on, ripped jeans, my Doc Martens. Exactly, like Doc Martens, bright red hair. I was 10, and all these kids with tracksuits on and their Air Max come over to beat the living crap out of me just because I looked different. And then I can remember them saying, "Fair enough, you took the beating, we won't do it again." And then they left me. After that, we were fine.
And that's been the case ever since?
That has been the case ever since. They said, "You just moved to Knoll, you've got to take the beating." So
how do you feel about that? I mean, do you think, what's your thoughts on it?
Can we swear?
I mean,
not really.
I was just about to say, do what you want.
Not really.
I get told off. No.
All right. It was weird. Really, really weird. I mean, I just thought, like, what the hell? Like, like I just got kicked the crap out of.
Did you feel like then that you were part of that community after? I know you said that they said that, like, but like, as a person, having a living whatever kicked out.
Yeah.
You're not suddenly going to think, oh great, I'm part of it now.
Oh yeah, I'm part of the crew now.
How did that?
I didn't leave my house for like 2 months. I don't think. I think I just went to school straight back home. School straight back home. I'll go to shops like first thing in the morning because I knew all the kids my age, they're still going to be in bed. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I know like when to avoid everyone. I did that for like 2 months. So then I finally started like talking to neighbours and like they had like little girls my age. So then I started getting along with them. And then I eventually everyone was friends of friends of friends. So I was hanging about with my neighbours and they were hanging about with the people, that kicked the crap out of me. And then, I think we all just became like friends or just like acquaintances. Like they'd knock on, and I'd go out with them, like go play football or go to Schemers Boxing Club on a Tuesday night. When I was over the park years ago. Yeah, we used to knock on and just go over Schemers for a bit, like on the punching bag, or go to the park in the little skate park bit when that was there. It's not there anymore. No, but yeah,
that was the I don't know what's it called. Rich set it up. Free running.
Yeah, place. That's it. Yeah, the free running place. Yeah, we always.
And you know the irony of that is, it's not there because someone burned it down. Do you know
how?
I mean? Like, why do you go and do that with something that is positive in your own community?
It's like with the Breeze store the other day in Philwood, and the other month, and the month after that. They just keep on setting it light. It's an absolute joke. Such joke.
It's kind of linked to it. Again, we will keep going off track.
Yeah.
You won't know we're going off track.
Literally, yeah.
Why do you think people do it? Because people complain. You know, I've been working and living around here for long enough to know like the deal, and it's just like, people get bored, and I get that.
I think I was just easy target.
Like people get bored, and then they might go and do things like, you know, smash stuff up for a bit of a laugh or burn stuff or what. But at what point does the penny drop? It's like, this is our stuff. This is our community. That house that I've just been playing Knockout Ginger on and threw a stone through the window. Do you know what I mean? I know, like, just messing around, whatever.
Yeah.
That might be the same person that might employ me.
Exactly.
Down the line. And as soon as I'm known as a little toad, like, people talk, don't they?
Yeah,
like,
people do talk.
Knows everyone.
Exactly.
And like, you get a name for yourself like that. It's hard to get rid of it.
And with lots of the people in my generation in this area, I don't think the penny ever will drop. Like when I was on my way here, I walked past a few of them that I grew up with. Like when I first moved to Knoll, stood in the corner selling drugs. And it's like, lots of them, I don't think the penny ever will drop. I think they do it just because they are so bored or they have nothing going in their lives. Positive.
Do you think it's, it's interesting you say it. Do you think it's lack of opportunity and lack of confidence in themselves? Or do you think it's that they're doing something because they think it makes them look a certain way?
I feel like it's sort of like a butterfly effect. So like lots of them, they influence each other. Yeah. So if someone's going out nicking dogs and selling them on, the next person's going to do it. And they think it's cool, the next person's going to do it, and they're going to do it. And then same with vandalism, burning stuff down. One of them thinks it's like cool, or this looks crap. You know, we're just going to burn it down. Like there's no need for it to be here. Like with Philwood, it's like they just want to create an eyesore just to say how I did it. Just turn to their mates to be like, yeah, I did that.
I guess the thing is as well, like people say about it, don't they? Like I heard someone going on about it the other day. I was chatting to that. Basically, he's from up around here as well. He does like cleaning around like Redcliffe area.
Oh yeah.
He gets rid of all the graffiti. And all that kind of stuff. He's saying, the mayor says because you get rid of it because if a place looks run down, then people will treat it even more badly and it'll become more run down. So try and keep it nice and people might look after it. I mean, I'm sure there's loads of research into it, but I think you need to give opportunities or provide a space where people feel warm, wanted, appreciated.
Exactly. I just don't feel like lots of them have the motivation or have been given the motivation to go out and do something positive, because what I've seen is lots of them learn from their parents. So lots of their parents don't have the motivation to go out and do something in the community or go out and get a job. Lots of parents around this area are unemployed, and I have spoken to a lot of them because a lot of them are my friends' parents. They said, what's the point of getting a job? I could sit here and get universal credit more than what I'd get doing 30 hours a week in a job. And it's like I could see where they're coming from. Like why would you work 30 hours a week just to get less than what Susie next door is getting on universal credit weekly, So I feel like lots of them sort of like learn then on, like you sit there with your hand out. They sit there with their hand out expecting stuff, and I find it like so boring. It's like why would you sit there and expect, money to be given to you? A nice area isn't just given to you. You have to be good to the area.
Can I ask you a question? Because everything you're saying then is just like, it is interesting, and there's different. Obviously, it's not everyone in the community.
Not everyone, but a majority.
Yeah, and I think that's probably it's fair to say there's lots of people that might be in that situation. But like when you were growing up, for example, around here, what were the kind of things that you were doing? The clubs, the kind of things that you were doing that might have been not getting into that kind of stuff, or maybe you were involved in that. I don't know. What kind of things were you doing growing up? Because you come across, since you've been doing GAP, as solid, well-rounded, committed, motivated, doesn't take any
crap,
and caring. I'm sure like I know you spoke. We'll talk a bit later about things like behind the scenes. But that's refreshing to see. But what kind of things were you doing growing up?
What was I doing growing up?
Maybe shaped that or not.
So when I was growing up, I was doing the same stuff lots of kids were doing when I was growing up. I started smoking at 11. When they're doing 301 Amber Leaf at the shop for £3.
Yeah.
I can remember getting Country Choice and sitting in the Bommy, the Northern Slopes. Sitting there with like a massive litre of Country Choice and just getting drunk in a field at 13. Playing Kirby, playing a lot of Kirby. Lots of Knockout Ginger.
So for people who don't know what Kirby is, you stand on either side of the road with a ball and basically
bounce,
try and hit the curb. Did you ever used to do it so you get extra points if you can hit the ball hits that curb and then bounces off and then hits the other curb?
Extra points, always. And then, it sounds really bad, but we used to break into the nursery, jump over the gates, and just sit with our feet in the pond and play with the fish. You
do it in Japan. You don't have to break in places, but whatever, it's the same thing, isn't it?
We used to jump the gates at Oldminster Avenue Nursery because they had a pond there. Don't know if they have it anymore. I doubt that they do.
The fish probably aren't allowed.
No, the fish probably aren't. We used to go behind Eagle House. There was a stream running behind there. We used to go there and collect tadpoles and just
that's a youth club.
I just spent most of my childhood either in the Northern Slopes, Park Centre, Eagle House or Newquay Park.
Do you think those experiences and those times have shaped who you are today and
Definitely.
how you are today?
Definitely.
And if that's the case, are those other kids that you were knocking about with around that kind of time, what are they doing now? Do you think it shaped them in the same way, or actually is it you, something within you that? Because let's be honest, it might be that.
Maybe.
It'd be interesting to hear what you say.
Lots of a few girls I grew up with. A girl called Katie. She's working in care now. She's a full-time carer for her nan, but she does work as a carer around the community as well in Southville, I think. Another girl I work with, used to grow up with, she works in an office now, but she sells stuff on the side. And then one of my good friends, Chloe, never had a job. She's never gotten a job, never gone to college. That's just not been her dream, you could say. She's pregnant at the minute. But yeah, she'd just rather stay at home. She's always had anxiety problems, but she'd just rather not get a job or do anything. But I feel like growing up, it all shaped us all really differently. But we are all very caring girls. We are all very street smart as well. We know if something's kicking off, we can just tell how people are because we were around the community. We know all of the older generation.
That's why I want you on our detached team. No, seriously. Like you can teach certain things, but
Yeah.
there's some things like I don't even know if you can teach.
You can teach. You just got to go out and experience it. And you know, my mum used to say that to me. I was like, that's just a load of crap. Like, you know, I have to be taught these things. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to talk to people. And like even when I first joined Gap, like I was like really, really bad at talking to people. I could not hold a sentence because I would stutter all over myself. I'll be like, I'm just so
You've
nervous.
hidden that well. Seriously.
Like even now, I'm trying not to stutter over myself because like
That's
I am
thinking
nervous.
about it.
Because to camera,
Oh yeah. In fairness, you got the cameras on you. I ain't got one on me.
Exactly.
I might probably be like, yeah, don't worry about that. You're doing fine.
but yeah, I think it like all gave us like a bit of confidence. We could all talk to each other, but I struggled with confidence a lot, and stuff like this, talking to people in the community, talking to Doris up the road, which just passed away. It's really sad. But yeah, well, the older generation, they were pretty much our parents. You know, when we were out on the street, like if they saw me throwing stones at someone's window, they'd open the door, they'd be like, "Get down the effing road now. Move on."
It takes a village. And
it does.
And I definitely, you know, if with people that in communities that are more like the word is whatever, but like more transient, as in people are moving in and out all over the place.
Exactly.
You don't have that same sense of community, so you don't have people that know everyone's parents, know everyone's kids, know this, that, and the other. Have a relationship, and the relationship bit is the key to it all.
It's like I catch myself like even to like the young'uns now, when they're like 7, 8 years old, like in the middle of the street with a scooter, there's a car. I'm like, "Get out the effing road now!" Otherwise, I'll tell your mum. I don't even know their mum.
No,
but
they're for you.
But it's a threat, and they'll believe me. so quickly like shove her across the road. That's how that bike project
started because of the amount of everyone doing really something. I was like, oh my God, this is nuts.
Exactly, it's like kids playing. I used to do it as well, playing chicken in the middle of the street, just laying down in the middle of the road. I'm like, what are you doing? I'll drag you out the street and not like grab you and take you to your mother's door. It's shake sense.
There's more than one way to skin a cat. Everything you're saying there, I wonder whether, and again, like we briefly spoke about it, and just say whatever you want. But things like challenges that you're growing up with, because I know we were talking briefly about it.
Yeah.
And if there's things that maybe you talk about now that might support others that are growing up in a certain situation, so what kind of like struggles did you have?
So I mean, struggles I still have now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I've always suffered with like really bad depression, like to the point where I'm almost like suicidal, and it's like I think it like all does like stem back to like the trauma of my parents like just. Tearing apart and like breaking away, and after that family was never the same and friends were never the same, and I used to go to school and you know Emily was getting picked up by her mum and dad. I'm like, why can't I have that? Like, and then you know then I had to raise my younger brother and myself, because my mum was so depressed that she just could not get out of bed, and she was trying to do uni. And she was doing 2 different diplomas at uni, raising 3 kids, trying to look after my nan, going through cervical cancer. And then it's like my dad is like a whole different ball game. He does motocross for sport, and he's 50 odd now, and he keeps on falling off and breaking bones, and it worries the hell out of me.
What do you do with the operation thing? Is it something?
Oh yeah, well that's another thing. So
oh God.
My dad won't admit it, but he was pretty much alcoholic when him and my mum were together, because like it was such a really bad toxic relationship. My dad drank himself after death, and then when they eventually split up, my dad got like a lot better, like straight off the beer. He stopped smoking, he started going to the gym, started riding his bicycle, and then got hit off. So then he stopped riding his bicycle. But yeah, my dad, he has 2 hernias, and that's because of drinking himself after death. He's just destroyed his stomach so bad, it's just catching up to him. I mean, he's nearly 60 odd, so it was bound to happen. But
I guess that's the thing. The things that happen earlier on in your life, when you do get older,
catches up with you.
It does, yeah. And I guess like when you're 40, 50, that's the time they say. I mean, I don't know. This is what I've heard. That's the time to start looking after yourself. But what you do then is what impacts on you when you're 60, 70.
Exactly, like 15 years old, and like my dad barely drinks, but like now it's starting to really affect him. And then it's making me think like, oh my God, I need to like quit smoking. I don't drink because of, but that's probably why I don't drink.
Well, if you've seen living experiences,
yeah.
It can be, like people say you're more likely to smoke and drink if you've witnessed it happening a lot growing up.
You're a sponge when you're young. You absorb.
It's normalised.
It is normalised.
But that's not everyone. Some people might see it, and because they're, however they are, then they might witness this and just think, I am not doing that.
It's my older sister, my brother, they don't smoke. My brother doesn't smoke or drink. He hates it. My sister does drink, but she absolutely cannot stand people smoking around her. And she... I don't know, we've all come out like really different. Like my sister, she's gone to uni, she does semi-professional rugby, she's got this like amazing job, she has a house with her boyfriend at 25. And then it's like my brother, he's only 17, but he's a graphic designer in training. He could take apart a computer and put it back together within 5 minutes in front of you. Yeah. He could speak Japanese and Dutch, and then it's like you look at me and think, Christ, where have I gone?
Don't give me this rubbish. Listen, by the time you finish this, you've got it all there. It's just the opportunity. Like there's no doubt about it. And anyone that has come across you through the programme has said the same so far. I mean that, I'm not just saying it. Like, you're on the right track. It's finding an opportunity. It's something you want to do, isn't it?
Exactly. And then it's also having the motivation. And then it's like, because I do suffer of like bad mental health and I do have an eating disorder, it's like now I haven't eaten in 2 days. I probably should. But I don't like chewing. I don't like smelling food. And it's like when I'm around people and I see them eating, I will eat. It's like... like when I'm at Gap, you'll see me eat at McDonald's, and then I'll have go to Lidl's.
Eat, and then is it eating making yourself sick, or is it
I'll eat, and then I hate being sick. So I'll eat, and then I literally won't eat for like the next 3 days. I'll be like, what I've eaten today is my allowance for the next 3 days. So then I know I've got enough nutrients. I'm not going to pass out with diet at any moment. So I'll be all right for the next couple of days. And I don't know. It's really weird. Like I've never got diagnosed, because every time I have tried to go to doctors, it's just like speak to someone, read books, and it's like, how is that going to help me? Like I need someone to talk to me about my mental health, because I feel like I'm going insane half the time. I mean, past like 2 years.
Do you feel like, because I mean, again, we never know who's going to watch this. It might be one person, it might be 100, it might be 2
millions.
There could be a young person watching this that is, from up the road. Do you know what I mean, or wherever?
Yeah.
And they might have, a similar kind of story, or some of those things might be similar, and they might be in that situation now where they're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to turn. And it sounds like, I mean, I was going to say, what advice would you give? But it sounds like maybe you're in a situation where you need that support.
I'm still having like that struggle. Like, and I don't think it's ever going to fully go. But the past like year or so, lockdown was really bad for like a lot of people. But for me, like, I thrived in lockdown. Like,
why do you think that was it?
Because I sat at home, I read books, I started to eat better, because I had nothing better to do. I was eating. And then, I was sat in my garden, I was playing with my cats all the time. Like, I loved it. And then when lockdown ended, I was like...
You feel the positive impact on your mental health? Yeah,
definitely. Like, I felt like it was just like one massive sort of like step back. Like, I was like, oh, I could finally breathe. Like, I don't have to go to work, because I'm on furlough now. So it's like, I don't have to go to work and talk to people that I don't want to talk to, and see, like, I just never wanted to be around people. I tried to hide away as much as I could. Like, even now at work, I try and hide in the toilets most of the time. I work in customer service. Like, I don't like speaking to people, and people probably don't like speaking to me, because I look a bit unfriendly most of the time.
That's not true.
You need to see me at work, Ben.
But if it's anything like you are normally, then it ain't the case. But anyway.
I'm sat there full on bee face.
But so this kind of links with again, we are definitely swerving off, but it means something to people that are listening, because your journey is not going to be that different to others. And I wonder, like I see you in a certain way with Gap. We're talking about that in a minute, but it feels like there's something in when you find something you want to do.
It brings some out of me.
When you're around people that you might want to be. So you're talking about like with Gap and being meeting new people that you're like, different to yourself, but you have something in common with. Like,
exactly.
Has that helped how your mental health has been?
Definitely. And it's like even like you and like Judith, you both have helped massively, because you're like so enthusiastic about your work, and I could tell you love it, and you love like work with young people. And then it's like I see that I love it. I wish I had that enthusiasm, but for life. For life,
you have got that. You have got. I mean, not just directed to anything. You do what you want to do, but you've definitely got that people skills. Whether it be youth work, community development, teaching, anything along those lines. Yeah, you do have that, and those are the things, those skills, those personable skills about building relationships. I'm not sure you can learn. You can learn lots of different skills around it and different ways of doing things, but you have got that natural ability. So don't like.
I mean, yeah, I can pick up on sort of things with people. It's like the first day we went to the Wave, and Theo. That was the first time I met Theo. I didn't know he had learning disabilities.
That's what autism.
And I looked at him and I could see him sort of like going into a shell. I was like, I can tell he's autistic. I could tell he's really out of his shell. He's really not comfortable. And then he started having a panic attack, and I felt like I just knew what to say. Like I told him, like, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. And I feel like that calmed him down a lot more. But I've always had a thing, like I could like pick up on people's moods and like facial expressions, and I can, like in my last job, like I was a door supervisor, bouncer, whatever you want to call it, and it's like I could see that when something's building up in someone, like I know when to go over and talk to them and talk them back down off a level, because I know they're going to end up doing something stupid. But yeah, I don't know why, but I've always been able to talk to people.
Those are the kind of skills that in the right place will be something that hopefully within the right job would be something that you'd enjoy doing. And I think that's the key to the thing you were talking about earlier, weren't you, about people that might be on benefits and this, that and the other. The reality is, I've done loads of things like bloody cleaning, whatever. Mind your face. Whatever, cleaning, labouring, all that kind of stuff. And it's a job, isn't it? You do a job and
job's job.
And that's it. But when you find something you're passionate about, suddenly, even if the pay ain't that great, you want to get up and do it. And the impact of that is not only just on your mental health, it's on your life.
Yeah, it's like
in general. And that's
my last job. I loved it. I loved being a door supervisor. Everyone's like, what are you on about? Like, it's such a crap job. You're stood there in the middle of winter on a door most of the night, or in a sweaty club full of students. Like, why would you enjoy it? And it's like, I just loved helping people. Like, girls that didn't feel safe with their dates and stuff, they came to me because they felt safe. Or like, if boys didn't want to talk to the male bouncers because they felt intimidated, talk to me. Like, I don't know, I just sort of like, I loved having people talk to me, and I felt like I was needed. That's what I loved. And
but it does nourish yourself.
Yeah.
Why do you think, Jude? There's obviously we want to support people, but there's obviously it gives us some kind of kick to support them.
Exactly. Like it gives you that like feeling like that you're wanted and you're needed, and it's I love
something
that.
good as well. Do you know what I mean? You're doing something good that helps people.
Definitely, but yeah, I love that job, and I wish I didn't have to leave, but.
You know what? I'd say everyone's on a journey doing GAP, and we'll talk about that
Definitely.
now. But your journey feels like all those things that you've been through growing up, and some of the things you're still going through now, is all part of that journey that basically shapes what happens in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
So none of it is a negative thing. It's just that learning curve. I was just going to say to you as well, because you're talking about, at work and talking to people and not, and sometimes not wanting to talk to people, and then in different situations enjoying that, helping people out. Do you feel like you have your voice heard? Do you and when I say that, like, in your community or across the city, if there was something that mattered to you now, do you feel like you'd have your voice heard?
No.
And
I mean, but like, I feel like I'd have my voice heard by like pillars of the community, like Northwest Media Centre, the park, But
But
if
do you think things would be acted on? Like you say, you might have your voice heard. Do you think that might be acted on and it might
like if I posted something on social media about anything, I don't think anyone would like share my post. I don't think anyone would give it, you know, a 5-minute read. I think it's just another thing they've scrolled past because it's like, I don't know, like I'm not that relevant in the community. Like, yeah, like
well,
people.
Why is someone, if you're not relevant, why is someone else more relevant? What is it that?
I don't know, like I feel like in areas like this, people do like make a name for themselves, and I feel.
How do they do that? Is it a negative or a positive? Do you think?
So, I mean, Ty Allen across the road, he owns a tattoo shop. Everyone knows him because he is so skilled. He's never done a bad thing in his life, I don't think anyway. But like, he is so skilled and he is so nice. Like, he raises money for charity. Everyone in Northwest knows his name. Everyone. And like, Shannon Queen, she grew up, she didn't have the best upbringing, but everyone in Northwest knows her name. She got a shop right next to Ty Allen. And it's like, they made a name for themselves, like in a good light. And then lots of people get their name in a bad light, but at least everyone knows their name.
So you think that there is a route for people to be respected and to have their voice heard in communities that might be more challenging?
But I feel like...
Why don't you think that you I mean, if you aren't now, I can see yourself going in a direction where that might change, like based on decisions and things you might want to do.
Yeah.
Because you definitely, when you speak, people listen. Like within that, I can only base it on Gap, and they do. Like people that don't, that's not like a normal thing. Like sometimes, you know, people might do, but generally people...
It's because I'm quite strong-minded and I'm quite blunt as well. Like, I think lots of people do
negative,
like
but,
it can be negative. Like, I can be very blunt and tell you straight up, but lots of people do like that. Like Brandon was saying yesterday, that's what he likes about me. I'm blunt. I'm straight up. I don't cut any corners. You know, I'll tell you what I think, how I feel, and what I'm gonna do about it. And I don't think many people like that. I don't.
I think quite a lot of people like to know where they stand, and that. Well, I don't know. I can only talk for myself. I think it's good. You know where you stand. You're only being honest. You're not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. And then, you know, like if there's a discussion about it, then have a discussion. But it's just like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, it's like, if I think something's a bit of a pill idea, I'll say it. I'll be like, that's not going to appeal to many people. Should we think of another idea? And, you know, feelings might be hurt for 2 minutes, but then they will realise it wasn't the best idea. But we can develop it and make it a good idea.
The we bit is the key bit, as long as everyone, and that's what, when I met your group the other day. So, talking about Gap, like, you're now doing your social action stuff in the second term. And when I met your group today, and I know you had to chip off with your dad, and they basically said what you just said then, that it felt like, because it's a smaller group that are doing the social action stuff, everyone can have their voice, everyone's got different levels of confidence about talking in front of people. They feel like they've been able to say the things that, you know, to be involved in it. Yeah, the reality is that some people will probably be more kind of involved and stronger than others, but then everyone's on their journey, aren't they?
They are,
and they're going to learn from you as much as you're going to learn from them.
Exactly.
In different ways.
It's like again, like I'm just mentioning Brandon a lot, but I've learned a lot from Brandon, because I do sit back there and I watch him sometimes. I'm like, is anything going on up there? Like anything?
He takes things in, doesn't he? He takes things in, which is good.
But he does take things in.
He doesn't have to say it straight away.
He does have but if I'm like, Brandon, did you get that? He'll regurgitate exactly what I just said to him, and he'll be like, oh, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, and it's like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. And then it's like with Abby, it's like she is very laid back and she will let me and Brandon do what we want to do, but she will chip in. She'll be like, I don't want to do that. Like, I think that's crap. Or that's like a really good idea. I want us to do that on like a bigger scale. Like with the meditation. She's the one that even brought it up. I never even brought it up, but she saw the fire pit, and she thought that would be like a good like campfire sort of thing. And then like she made me start thinking, and then like I'm learning a lot from both of them. Like Abby was very like calm and relaxed, and she sits there. She does take it all in, and she doesn't talk much, which I need to take a note out of her page because I talk a little bit too much. But yeah, like she sits back and like she does like everything in order that needs to be done.
What is it you like about Gap then?
What I like about Gap
and
is...
then afterwards, what could be improved? So don't think you've just got to sugarcoat it. Just let me have it.
What I like about Gap, how enthusiastic everyone is, as I've already said. I kind of like how messy it is. Like
Explain that a little bit.
So, like, it all feels like very like thrown together because it is, but
it's not.
But
but it is delivered in a certain way to be
like,
informal.
Yeah, it is very informal. You and Judah, it's like you don't want us to be professional. You want us to be us, and like that's what I like. And it's, you know, all the different people, and I love all the different spaces that you guys like get for us, and all the opportunities like Wave, Barton Camp, and you know we're doing that bushcraft stuff, and then you know you have so many ideas of like, oh, we should do this, like Christmas dinner and stuff like that, and it's like I love it. Like it doesn't feel like, I mean, I call it college. I've always called Gap like, oh, I got college today, because it is sort of like college, but it is so laid back, and I never did well in like a learning setting. You know, everyone sat at tables writing down, listening to the one person. I've never did well in that sort of environment. I've always had to be up doing something. Like Gap is like trying to sort of like, I would say like mix up Bristol, but trying to put like different people in different areas to open our eyes, and then give us all the different opportunities and like, you know, different communities like help. Like when you first said they're putting me in Hartcliffe for a detached, I was like, are you joking? You're putting an Old Wester in Hartcliffe.
Why not?
Postcode wars.
No, but these things like change only happens with a step.
With a step, exactly,
and
then
little steps, and you know,
it's the only reason I did it is because I saw the stuff on Bristol Post about them trying to bridge the gap. Yeah. Bridge the gap between Knoll and Hartcliffe, and they're building centres smack bang in the middle of us, so all of us can meet in the middle, and try and stop this post-Cold War, you know, this and that with each other. Yeah, that's what I like about Gap. I've met so many different people from so many different communities, and yeah, I just love it.
It's interesting you say, because it's good to hear what perspective you've got from receiving this, and it's funny we said, well, it's just like put together. I mean, seriously, it is put together, but it's perfect. It's put together in a certain way that it's meant to. Informal education, basically youth work. It was all based on you wanting to be there. Yeah. Right. So you turn up, not school. Like school, you have to be there. If you're not there, you get told off. Like you need to be. You need to choose to be there. Yeah. And that has always been a thing. Once you're there, everything else you can learn. But everyone in that group has all got different learning styles. There's loads of like neurodivergence. There's loads of like mental health. There's loads of different things. And the way that you teach those things to engage everyone is to make it inclusive. Yeah. It's like if it was like school with a bit more kind of structured, do you think people would be there now?
I don't think so.
So we've had to develop it and kind of keep it in a way where we think people will engage, but blatantly there's things that can be improved, and it would be great to hear what you think could be improved. Like, be totally honest.
To be improved. So
it's the first year we're doing it. You know? So
it is the first year. Things. So I was saying earlier, it's like we are pretty much like the guinea pig here. Yeah. So like this is the first time it's ever been done. Yeah. As you said, like the council have only just allowed you and Judith to do it.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with the council. I mean, I wish they
funding and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah.
If you got any money,
let us know.
Not anywhere else.
Well, exactly. Like it's first like city sort of do a group like this, and I think it's so cool. But to be improved for the for what we're doing now. What's it called? It's
social action stuff.
That's it. Social action. Completely left my head. I felt like you're like, yeah, we're doing this, this, and this. Off you go. And then we're like, but what are we doing? Like, is it a club? Is it an after school club? Is it, what are we doing? Because at first, and then, no, how it started was you said, make an idea of what you want to do in a group or something.
So and this is how the different groups and individuals interpreted it, and probably what kind of, if there was support from different people in the group that thought, okay, like they had confidence to go for it. It was about talking and consulting with people about things that matter to them. The reality is, though, 8.5 days is basically what you've got to create a social action project, which is nothing. Like, it's nothing, absolutely nothing. And we know that we're chucking people in at the deep end. And later on, there's other things you're going to be chucked in at the deep end.
Great.
But it's about learning from the process. So the skills that you learnt within community development, youth work and leadership in those modules before, that there should have been enough within that to make you think, okay, now we need to be able to go out and do something that matters to that community.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that has been different in different groups is been the confidence in just saying, right, we're just going to give it a go. We don't know what we're going to be doing, and not knowing is okay. And I think there's learning probably from us about, as you know, we've got 3 different groups scattered around, and there's only 2 of us.
Yeah.
And we've purposely done that because we thought, okay, actually, we think that everyone within those groups is capable of it. And if we don't have to be stuck with them the whole time, we give them space. And then, and then we move around like a carousel. So there's always one group without someone.
Yeah.
Because of other things that have happened, I think some groups have been left on their own for longer.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that the learning on that is that maybe people do need to be supported in the first, like in the second term of the social action stuff. Maybe you do need more support to kind of clarify the things,
what the hell we're doing. Yeah. No, I think that was like. I think like explanation is like the only thing that I really have a problem with in GAP is like, I don't know, like you word it like, well, mostly Judith, word stuff very weirdly. And then I'm like, but what does that actually mean? I'm like, but what?
Ask the questions.
Yeah. So like I have, and then Judith said the same thing. I'm like, never mind, I'll just ask Ben.
And look, and there's going to be things that I say as well. But I what I'd say is like, and that's the thing. Like, and it's not just for this, for anything. If you don't know something, flip and ask. Because do you know what I mean? Like, there's no silly,
wrong answer. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no silly questions and ask. And then there is that, like, your social action project, by the way, is going to be amazing. You've got a solid plan for it. And I think what happened to start with all this, we've all got different experiences, by the way, me, Heather and other people of doing these kind of things. I've done loads of it. I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I've done loads of it. So I know what I'm doing. And I know things I don't know what I'm doing as well, right? But it was the blue sky thinking, loads of ideas. Then it needed to be funneled narrowed down into realistic bite-sized things and going through that process. And I think that process didn't necessarily happen so well in your group.
No.
Right? And it did in other groups.
Yeah.
But that's all part of learning as well. So it's good to hear
it's
you
like,
saying that.
It's like, I feel like what my group's doing is quite different to everyone else.
Do you want to say what it is? Because people might hear this.
So me and my group, we're calling it a wellness walk, an affirmations wellness walk. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a really nice sort of nighttime walk. It'll be 5 p.m. But a nighttime walk around the northern slopes, and in Knoll, Daventry Road entrance. And what we'll be doing is we'll take a group into the northern slopes, and we're going to split them off into 2 groups at different sort of ends of what I call the bommy, where it sort of dips in, and they'll be given a check sheet. So what we're doing is we're going to hang all of the affirmations around the northern slopes, and they have to find them
within trees,
wherever. Hedges. Like
they have torches, won't they?
They have torches. They have a map, sort of roughly explaining where the stuff is. We might even have little prizes hidden with the affirmations to make it like even more fun. And then they're gonna have a little check sheet, just say if this affirmation sits well with them, something that they use in day-to-day life, or something that made them feel good.
Well, that was after that walk, isn't it? They're going to be going back to the roundhouse, and that's when Brandon's going to be doing his bit with the talking stick.
Yeah.
Which is, again, something you were saying about earlier. You carved your own talking sticks, you've done different activities with it, using that and linking it with the affirmations.
Exactly. Then, giving everyone a chance to speak, and then, sharing what affirmations made them feel good and affirmations that they didn't like. And then, then we're going to be heading back to the roundhouse. Brandon's going to be doing his thing with the talking sticks. I'm going to take off a little group. I haven't been trained yet, as of yet, but I'll be...
You have done it.
Well,
You've done it
with Heather, yeah.
Well, let's practice it.
Yeah, I need to practice.
You'll be good.
Yeah, I do need to practice, but I'll be leading a little meditation session over the fire pit, just something people can use in their like daily lives, like if they get in a really stressed out situation, whether it be school, with parents, work, anything, like they could take themselves away and just sit in the back garden and just sit there and breathe. And it's like, I never thought meditation ever really worked until I did my first mentoring session with Heather, and we went in St Anne's Woods by my dad's house. She said, "Where did you grow up?" And I was like, "I'll show you." And we went in St Anne's Woods, and she just sat me down, and she was like, "Close your eyes," and then she said, "Really open your ears up, open your ears up. What can you hear?" And I heard like so much, like from miles away. I hear like all the different birds, all the different like insects, and like it was so calming. I opened my eyes, I was like, oh, I didn't ever want that to end.
Do you know what though? This is the key bit to all this kind of stuff, and it's great actually. We're talking about the mentors now, that you've really bonded with your mentor.
I love my mentor.
You've got another. We know she doesn't shout about her. Heather, you've done very well. But it's just like with all this kind of stuff, it's like, it's going to be amazing. You'll get different people of different ages that are going to come on the walk, and Abby's doing herbal teas as well. So she's going to be picking like different herbs and
teas, and then show people how to make it. She'll be doing cakes and stuff.
But it's all stuff for people's well-being. But you saying that about the meditation stuff, I mean, most people don't grow up and like they don't experience that. Why would you? But that's it. Once you have. And you felt it yourself, and
you feel the change,
then
you're like,
you're like, oh, hang on a minute,
it actually works. I thought people were just chatting.
Yeah.
So I didn't ever think it actually worked. So I tried it myself, and I sit in my back garden at night now on a deck chair.
Listen, it's good to hear, and it's good to hear that you're not only have you've experienced that yourself, but you're going to be passing it on, and that's
I just want to
give... That's enough for a social action project to support people's well-being.
Yeah, I just want to give people tools on how to make themselves feel better, like within themselves, and how to make others feel better about themselves. That's my biggest thing. Like the walk is like affirmation, but at the very root of it is mental health. Like we are here to sort of open up and like just teach them small little things to make themselves feel better when they don't feel good. And I wish I had something like a teacher or something, just give me the tools of like
tools for life,
how to make myself feel better. So I'm not in bed at 3 a.m. like, oh my god, I'm so stressed, oh my god, I wish I had like meditation and like walking out in nature. I thought that was a load of crap when I was younger. I was like, oh my god, I don't want my boots to get muddy. It's cold. Why would I want to do that?
But again,
birds.
It's when you're switched onto it and you take it in a different way, and you're open to that, and you feel it again. Then it's suddenly like, okay, maybe there is something about how we are. Maybe we are part of the animal kingdom. We should be flipping part of it blatantly.
Yeah.
If you feel the impact on you again, then it's stuff that you'd want to do. You mentioned your mentors. Do you want to say a little bit? Come on, you particularly bonded with your mentor. Do you want to say a little bit about? Because we purposely put youth work, youth community work mentors, and business
mentors, yeah,
as part of the program. Do you want to say a little bit about them?
So we love Heather. I love Heather. Love. She's just so easy to talk to. She's so chilled.
Community development worker.
She is a community council. Yeah. She's like very professional woman, but she's very like down to earth. Like I can get along with her so well, and she doesn't ever sugarcoat anything. And like that is what I like. Like she's like, yeah, it might be a bit crap, you might not like it, but at the end of it, like it's an achievement, you know. And then you know, the support as well. Like with our social action projects, she said, I'll be there with you every step of the way. Like the day you're doing it, I'll be there helping you set up. I'll be there helping you clean up after. I'm there anytime she is there. She's even helping my business mentor find me a placement, because
I sent something.
Yeah.
She sent me something good, by the way. But it's the thing. You will, and it is going to be what you want. You've got to, when they're a thing, you need to talk out about what those things are, and because if people don't know, they don't know.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing.
Yeah.
But no, that's super positive. I wonder then, what would how do you feel about your future after GAP at this point?
After GAP, at the minute I feel like it's going to go one or two ways. So it's either I'm either going to get my placement, I'm going to really enjoy it, and I'm just going to dive into that and hopefully find work in whatever that might be, because I haven't looked at the email yet, probably should. But it's either I'm going to really dive into whatever I find that I love, or, you know, do my work placement and that's it.
So
and then
let me say
I crawl back
now.
into my little hole. And
No. Well, you ain't going anywhere near your hole, right? What you need to do, please do it, right? These placements is just it's meant to be a little eye opener to something you could do. That doesn't mean to say that you have to do that by the end of the program.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I want everyone to do is to make sure that they do meet up with their mentors every time they're meant to meet up with them, because after the placements, then it could be that you're then looking towards the actual opportunity that you want to do after the course. And it's with them that you're meant to be working towards that. So as long as you can say roughly the kind of idea that, you know, the thing that you're hoping to do, you've got quite a long time to work towards it. But don't think it has to be based on your placement.
Oh, yeah, I know that. But I mean, I know whatever Heather and Sophie has picked out for me, or, you know, think I'll excel in, I think I probably will.
You need to tell them.
I do, yeah. I mean, me and Sophie, like, communication has been a little bit rocky, but it always will be. She's just had a baby. Like, I'm amazed that she's even a mentor with such a young baby and trying to do it all by herself whilst her husband is still working.
I did question it, but she's superhuman.
She is superhuman, like, literally, like she calls me often, she texts me like, hey, does this sound good, is this, you know, she does really want me to do like work placement in the army, because she is an army girl. So and then like, obviously I told her I did army cadets for a couple of years, and she's like, I think you really did, like, I think you'll be really good at, you should do it, you should definitely do it. And I'm like, I don't like being away from home, I couldn't do the army now. And yeah, I think she definitely like is trying to push me towards army, police, mountain rescue.
Yeah, I remember you saying about
exactly.
that.
Like I'd definitely do work experience in like either of those, but I don't think I could ever make a career out of the army. I don't think so personally.
That's okay. Knowing that is the key to the kingdom.
I never thought I'd be homesick, and then I worked away when I was doing security. I was literally away for a week, and I spewed because I was so like homesick. I was like, oh my god, I don't think I miss my mum this much. I don't even like her like that.
The army's not for you then. What do you think? I mean, I know it's a bit early to say, but what do you think you would have done without the opportunity of GAP? Coming out of the blue.
Where I'd be without Gap now, I'd probably still be working 2 jobs, like in a bad place. Just working home. Probably wouldn't have as many friends. Well, I don't have many friends because I don't really leave the house. But I've made friends out like in Gap that are lifelong. Like Brandon, I used to work with him years ago in McDonald's. And
I didn't realise.
Yeah. And we never realised that we worked together. And then it wasn't until I saw him in Gap, I was like, I swear to God, I used to work with you in McDonald's. And he was like, yeah, me and you used to work on the same station. I'm like, oh, no way. and it's like, same with Abby. I know her sister. And it's weird how it's all come about. But I've made a lot of friends. So without Gap, I probably will be down about 8 friends. Up 1 job, and just having really poor social life and just not a lot of motivation.
Well, like I said, you're going in the right direction. You are going to get something that you want by the end of it.
Thank you.
I'll just say that the point of this podcast is it originally started, I know we've been going on about Gap, but it's always been to try and provide a platform for young people to say about stuff that matters to them.
Yeah.
Without any tokenism, like as in directing people towards talking about something, which happens a lot with adults, and it gets right on my wick. If I said to you, what really matters to you, what would that be? What are those things?
Well, like in my community,
in the world, or in your life? It's no.
What really matters to me is I just want everyone to feel okay. I want everyone to like have like positive mental health. Like I don't like seeing people struggle. I never have. I don't even like seeing me struggle, but it still happens. But yeah, I'd love to make a world where we're all really happy with each other. You know, we're not effing and blinding at someone if they cut out in front of you when you're driving. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, I wish I could walk down the street and not have men shout at cars of me. Even at the age of 15, it's wrong. That's a whole different conversation. But I just want everyone to feel okay with themselves. I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to respect each other. That is all I've ever wanted. That's what I want for Knoll West. I want everyone to just respect each other's spaces, care about each other. Like, I feel like with Knoll, when I first moved into Knoll, it was such like a close-knit community. Everyone knew everyone. Like most of the people on my street now, most people I grew up, like moved away, like grew up. I don't know most of my neighbours now, like closed off.
So
no one talks to each other.
No
one talks to each other. The most conversation I have with someone in my area is my corner shop man. That's because he knows me well.
Do you know what though? Like I seriously think like the thing that will come from this, that whatever you end up doing, I think will be around people, and it will be around helping people, and it will be around the kind of things you're talking about. And I could already tell you now that you pretty much be offered a job by someone we already know within working with people, because they've already seen enough. You know what I mean? And like I said, I gladly wanted you to go get an experience of doing some detached youth work and then potentially other types of youth work after that. Just to get an experience of things to see if it's something that you want to do, because you have got those kind of skills naturally. And then with the other things you learn on top, people like you of your age will be the difference in these communities, in your communities.
I hope so. Like that's another
100%.
thing. Like why I want to do like youth work is I want to instill those same values in young people. Have respect for each other. Talk to people. Talk to your neighbours. You know, share. You know, be friends. Just be happy. There's no reason to like close yourself off from people and pent up anger and burning shops down. There's no need for that. Like, just open up, talk to each other, like love each. Like, I just want everyone to love each other. It's like I feel like this. Our community is falling away. I want to make sure
I'm out with you and detached and Nuki. Well, the thing is, you live on Nuki Road.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, and even there's an argument that you'll have a better connection because of that.
Because I am from the area.
Do you know what I mean? And just hearing that from people that are comfortable to hear it from, that know that they've walked in the same shoes, has a bigger impact than someone that's just rocked up that they don't know at all, that they're straight away going to be like, who the hell
was that? Yeah.
You're on the right path. Just try and stick with the process.
I know. It's like I never thought I never thought I wanted to be a role model. I thought, like, who would want to look up to me? But it's like I do want to be a role model for the young people in North West, like especially the young girls. It's like, you don't have to, pop people's tires just to impress a boy that you like. It is so dumb. Like, what, like any need? No. So I just want to be role models just to all young people in North West. Try to instill those same values that the older generation did. Everyone talks to each other, loves each other, love it.
I everything you said sounds great, and I think that when you look at the distance you've travelled from the beginning of the course to the end of it, and you see, even you're going to end up watching this at some point, and probably about 6 months down the line, you're like, what was that? Seriously, once you get to the end of it and those opportunities happen, I know I'm going to see you flourish into something within that kind of work. It's obvious you've got what it takes, and it's obvious you're passionate at doing it. We always ask at the end of these podcasts about something. If you could ask the world or someone in Bristol or decision makers or people for anything, what would that be? I know.
Why is the government a thing? Like, why? Like, they're just people in charge. They have too much money. They don't care about the people with less money. They only think about how to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. And that's how I feel. And why do we need money? Currency is so crap. Like,
so the other I mean, this is,
I'm sick of being poor. I am sick of being poor.
Well, you shouldn't. The trouble is, right?
It is my fault.
No, it isn't. It isn't, because people. I probably shouldn't say this, but anyway, people who've got money don't necessarily want to give it away. Generally, and there are some really good people out there that do,
business
but mostly
people.
They don't. So then governments will get put into power because the people that run those governments will look after the people with money. And they will mean that they get more money. So the people that have not much will never get out of that situation. And why would people want them to get out of that situation?
Exactly.
Because that might impact on their pocket.
So
you need to vote for what you think the change is that is going to do that, and that's the only way we can do it. Like, within the system of government, choose whoever those people are you think will make that change and vote for them. And if all young people done that, we might actually create a change that would tip this completely on its head, and hopefully there really would be something that is equal, a society that is equal to everyone. Where you have the same opportunities as everyone else.
It's
that's
like
what GAP's for.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got me on one.
I know, I could tell, like, you were really rolled up. Yeah, I know. It's like when I turned 18, we were voting for something. I can't remember what it was. It was different parties. It's gone over my head now. But I was asking my friends, like, same age. I was like, "Did you vote?" They were like, "No." Yeah, why should I need to? I was like,
yeah, but if you don't, and this is the point. I didn't vote until I was 30 because I didn't have any freaking clue. I'll be totally honest with you. I had no idea what was going on. And if you don't know, you don't know. So this is the thing. It's about these discussions. It's about youth clubs. It's about schools. It's about people who should be talking about real life situations.
Exactly.
And nothing's going to change unless you do. So those conversations, you need to be having on the streets.
Exactly. It's like we need to teach young people. Like when I first turned 18, I went self-employed straight away. Do you think I knew what a UTR code was and self-assessment sheets and paying tax? And I didn't have a clue. And then I got myself, it was I had bailiffs on me because I didn't do my tax. But apparently I forgot to file that I wasn't self-employed anymore. So it was a whole thing. I didn't know.
Listen, I think it's interesting, right? Everything that you said, you've got a certain lived experience. You've got a drive to do certain things. And all those experiences you've spoken about will help others as well. But remember, you've got to look after yourself.
Definitely. That's number one.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you, Dougie.
If you're a young person and you've listened to today's show or any of the other What Really Matters podcasts and you want to get your voice heard, please do get in touch and let's talk to you about what really matters to you.